Could the Mariners actually beat the Astros in the playoffs? That's really what I want to talk about in today's video. Because sometimes when it comes to playoff matchups in any sport, you see it and you're like, well damn, that's a sweep. And if I'm being honest, when I realized that the Mariners were going head to head with the Houston Astros in the divisional round, I thought it was going to be one of those kind of series. But then I started to look closer and closer at the matchup and have come to the realization that these guys might actually stand a chance. And I know it sounds just a bit crazy to say, but the signs of an upset in the making are there. You just gotta squint your eyes and look close enough to see it. I mean, one of the most obvious signs that anyone could pick up on is the fact that these Mariners are red hot. And if you know anything about sports, then you know that momentum matters. These guys in Seattle haven't lost a series in the last 2 weeks, and sure, they were beating up on bottom-feeding teams, but they were winning nonetheless. With the first of those series being up against the Texas Rangers back at the end of September, where after splitting the first 2 games, the Mariners had a walk-off win in the 11th, really boosting team morale in Game 3. And if you thought that was the one time they got a walk-off, oh boy, you were so wrong. Because the very next day, these guys would walk it off again versus the A's this time, thanks to a rally home run. And this would lead to the Mariners clinching the playoffs for the first time in 21 years after smacking up on the A's in another game. And in the final series, before the playoffs kicked off, the Mariners would have a 4-game match up against Detroit. And can you guess what happened in that series? That's right, even more walk-offs, with the Mariners winning in the 10th inning in the first game of a doubleheader on October 4th. And on the last game of the season, Seattle does what they do best, and walked it off again, with the help of a single off by Ty France to bring Casilla into score. And I say all of this to point out the fact that these guys are streaking in the upward direction, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, this would lead to a best-of-3 series where the Mariners had to go up against a really strong Blue Jays team. And let's get into the real thick of it in Game 1, where Seattle showed up versus Canadians and really showed them what good baseball looked like, as they were able to whack off 3 runs in the first with the help of a beautiful double by Suarez, followed up with a 2-run home run on the very next at-bat by Cal Raleigh, essentially shaking up Alex Manoah off the rip. And Suarez wasn't done yet. He did not come to Toronto to watch Drake or Justin Bieber. Nah, he came to win a baseball game with an RBI grounder in the 5th. And as you probably know, if you keep up with Mariner baseball, these guys would go on to win the game 4-0, giving up a total of like 7 hits. And in a winner game, go-home game for the Blue Jays in Game 2 of the wildcard match, they turned the up off the rip, the same way Seattle did in Game 1 with a 4-0 lead by the 5th inning. But unlike the Blue Jays, the Mariners didn't give in to defeat and slowly rallied back through the second half of the game, with a 3-run homer by Carlos Santana in the 6th inning to put the Blue Jays back in the game, making the score 8-5, pretty manageable. But the momentum wouldn't completely swing in the other direction until the top of the 8th, where Seattle tied it up 9-9 in a huge thanks to a double by J.P. Crawford. And after reviewing the last couple of games before the season kicked off, can you guess what the Mariners did in the 9th? Yeah, they scored 1 more run in the 9th in huge thanks to Adam Frazier to take the lead and hold it for the rest of the game to move on to the ALDS. And not only have the bats been booming for the Mariners, but the pitching staff has been popping off in their own right, with starters like Luis Castillo and Logan Gilbert killing it as of late, and keeping these guys thriving. And another reason for why Seattle stands a chance in the series is they got that dog in them, you know? Haven't made the playoffs in 21 years, they really got that dog. I'm just playing. The actual reason is that the Mariners have a strong coaching staff, with longtime manager Scott Servais being a great head coach. Anyway, I'm not the biggest fan of the Mariners, but I do enjoy a good underdog story. And this especially considering the fact that they actually stand a chance. Plus, the Astros being the opponent really helps, because damn, those guys suck ass. Not literally, but the organization is just the worst, if I'm being honest. Oh shit, I almost forgot to remind y'all to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 200. Let's see if we can get there before Halloween. It'd be pretty cool. Anyway, that's it for the video. Let me know how to end the video, bro. Deuces!